Today, I'm going to show you how to make a toggleable flashlight mechanic in Fortnite. You can use this mechanics for maps like body cams or horror maps. If you have any more ideas for tutorials like this, make sure to leave them in our Discord, which will be the first link in the description below. I actually got this idea from a suggestion from one of you guys, which will be on the screen right now. Also, if you want to find the code from this video, it is also in our Discord server completely for free. Anyways, without further ado, let's go right into the video. Alright, let's jump right into the tutorial. The first thing you need to do is go to your Verse Explorer and make a new verse file by right-clicking on your project name, hitting add new verse file to project. I'm going to call this our flashlight controller and then hit create. Once this has been created, go ahead and double click on it to open it up. The first thing we want to do is go under on begin, which will happen whenever the game starts, and get every single player and track the player. So for every single player in get play space, so it goes through every single player in the map. Then we need to get every single player like so. Also, I need to capitalize this P here and add an S. Then we just want to track the player, and we want to track it for this player that we're currently looking at. And then we also want to track the players who join the game, so I'll just go ahead and say get play space dot player added event dot subscribe, and we want to subscribe to the track player function. Now let's go down here and actually create that function by calling it track player, taking it in an agent, and in here, because we want a function that's going to suspend, I'm actually going to call a new function and I'm going to spawn it. So I'm going to spawn track player 2 and I'm going to send it our agent, and then just go ahead and copy this function down here like so. Make sure it is aligned properly, change the name to this track player 2, and then make sure it suspends. So now I'll just go ahead and add a block, make sure there are no errors, and it looks like we're all good. The first thing we want to do is find an available light and assign it to this player. So let's go ahead and actually make a custom class for each light. It'll help us track if each light is available or not, because we want to be able to reuse lights instead of having to have a ton of them where only one is used per player. So I'll call this our custom light, and it's going to be of class. We want it to be concrete, and in this I want to make an editable, and we need a light device. I will go look in our Fortnite digest and search for a light device, and you'll see we have a customizable light device. So I'll just go ahead and call this our light device. Type custom light device, and then we just go ahead and initialize it like so. And now for this light device, we also need a variable. I'm going to call it is available of type logic, and initially it will be available, so we'll set it equal to true. Now we need to make an array of these lights. So if I go back under our main creative device class, I'll make an editable custom lights of type array of custom lights. So this will just allow us to add multiple custom lights, and we want to initialize it with an empty array. Now we can go back down here and find an available light. So we want to make a variable that's going to be the light that we found. So it'll just be our new light of type custom light, and just initialize with a blank custom light. And then we want to go through all of our lights. So for every single L in custom lights, we want to check if L dot is available, and if it is, we want to set our new light equal to this custom light. But we're not done here, because if our first light is available, then it'll assign that light to our new light, and then it'll go to our next light and do the same thing, which we don't want. We want to cancel this for loop at the same time that we find an available light. So to do that, we want to actually make a new variable here called is found of type logic, and it'll start as false. Then in this for loop, we'll write not is found. So that means it'll continue going through this for loop as long as this remains false. And then whenever we find a light that is available, we want to set is found equal to true. Also, one last thing is we want to set this light dot is available equal to false, because it is no longer available. All right, just like that, we now have this new light, which we can use. What I'm actually going to do is just move this into a new function. I technically don't have to, but it'll be nice to try to keep this code condensed. So now let's go ahead and really quick create a function, or so we'll name this our get available light, and it doesn't have to take in anything, but we want to return a custom light like so. And then we'll just go ahead and copy all of this and add a return new light like so. And then under here, we will call this function by saying our new light is equal to get available light. So now that we have a new light for for the player, we want to start a loop that's going to constantly teleport this light to the player's location. So I'll go ahead and make a loop like so. We want to sleep for 0.0 seconds, and then we want to get the for character for the agent. We can actually go ahead and do this up here. So I'll write if our for character is equal to agent.get for character like so. We won't be able to use get for character unless we're using the fortnite.com/characters. Just go ahead and add that up here. Then make sure this loop is underneath this if statement. And now that we have the for character, we can get the player's position and rotation. So I'll just say player position is equal to fc.getTransform.translation. Also get transform needs these parentheses here, and then our player rotation is equal to fc.getTransform.rotation. Then last, we just want to write new light dot teleport to, and we want to teleport it to our player position and our player rotation, just like so. And you'll see we get this error because we're trying to teleport our custom light, which is not possible. We want to teleport the light device in our custom light. So to do that, we'll just write new light dot light device dot teleport to. But we're not done with just this, because we also want to end this loop and make this light available again if the player leaves. So to do that, we're actually going to make a race, which is just going to start every single function underneath this race, and whenever one of them completes, it's going to end the rest of them. So we're going to use this to actually end our loop. And then what we want to check for is we want to make another loop that's going to say our player left is equal to our player space get play space dot player removed event dot await. And then whenever a player leaves the game, it's going to tell us what player left the game, which is this player left, and we'll write if player left is equal to the player that is being tracked in this function. Then we will break this loop. But we don't just want to break this loop. Before that, we want to set our new light dot is available equal to true and make sure it is available again. I also would like a way for the player to be able to toggle their light and turn it off and on. So for that, we're going to use an input trigger device. So I'll just go ahead and make an input trigger of type input trigger device, which we just initialize with another input trigger. And then what we can actually do is go down here in this race and make another block that's going to run on its own, and we'll loop and we'll make a loop that is going to wait for the input trigger dot pressed event dot await like so. This is going to return a player, so we'll say our toggling player, and we also want to do the same thing as we did here, and we want to check if it's the player who's being tracked, except for we want to check if the player who pressed the input trigger is the player who's being tracked, and then we want to toggle the light. So to know whether or not to turn the light on or off, we want to actually make a variable which will track for the player. So I'll just say var is off of type logic equals false, or actually I'll set this equal to true because we'll go ahead and set the light to being off at the start. So if the player presses the input trigger, we need to check if the light is off, then we will turn the light on by writing a new light dot light device dot turn on like so, and else, which is if the light is on, then we'll actually copy this, except for instead of turning off, we'll turn it on. But we also need to adjust this variable for each. So if the light is off and we turn it on, then we'll set is off equal to false, and if the light is on and we turn it off, then we set is off equal to true. And then one more thing is when the player leaves, we want to set our new light dot is off equal to true. And then one more thing we need to do is whenever the light resets, we want to turn the light back off. So I'll just write turn off like so. This way it'll go back to its original state. All right, there are a few more adjustments we'll need to make down here to the teleport location, but let's go ahead and test this out in game first. Gonna go ahead and minimize our verse code, hit verse build verse code, then go and drag our flashlight controller from our content browser into the play space. In this, our first setting are the custom lights. So I'll just go ahead and get a customizable light device. In this, you want to change the light type from point light to spotlight. And we also want to disable the initial state. Then the rest you can change, like the size and the reflection intensity, to be what you want specifically. but I'm just gonna leave those default for now. Then you want to go ahead and duplicate one of these for every single player that's going to be in your game at one time. So let's say you have 12 max players, you want 12 of these. I'll just keep 2 for now, and then go down here to your custom lights array, add 2 elements, and then select each of the light devices just like so. Whenever that's done, we also have an input trigger, so I'll just search for an input trigger device, drag it here into the play space. In this, you want to change the input type to whatever you would like. I'm just going to keep this on my interact keybind, and then change the HUD description to toggle flashlight, and then go ahead and select this input trigger in my device. One last thing I can do just to test this out is go to my island settings, search for my ambience, and then change some of these settings so it's a little darker. For time of day, I'll just set this to 2 a.m. Camera filter, I'll change this to horror movie. My light brightness, I'll change this to 0%, and then the rest doesn't really matter, and I'll go ahead and launch session. All right, so now in game you can see it's super dark, and if I start the game, you'll see we have our input trigger, and if I press E to toggle flashlight, we have a flashlight that's going to face in the direction of the player. If I go ahead and place down a wall, you can see it technically is a little lower. It does work fine, but if you want to change that, then just go ahead and go, and then back in your reverse code here in the player position, we'll just want to go ahead and teleport it to player position. Plus, you want to add a vector 3 where the Z is however much you want to add to the height of the light device. So I'll just go ahead and add like 30.0, so it's a little higher. And then you also need to include spatial math like so. And boom, just like that. If we go ahead and build verse code and push first changes, then back in our game, the flashlight is a little bit higher. One issue that we also run into is if we're moving forward, the flashlight actually gets a little bit behind the player and lights up the player themselves, which is not what we want. So let's go ahead and end the game and fix that by going back to our verse code. So to spawn the flashlight a little bit in front of the player instead of inside the player, we'll first go ahead and get a vector facing in front of the player, and I'll call this our player forward vector, where it's going to be equal to our player rotation dot get local forward and multiplied by 400.0. I'm actually only going to multiply this by 100, so it's a little bit in front of the player, but this is how far in front of the player you'll control where it spawns at. And then we'll need to actually make a spawn position, which is just going to be our player position plus the player forward vector. Then whenever we teleport the device, we want to teleport it to the spawn position instead of the player position. One more thing I'll do is change the rotation that we're getting. Instead of it being the rotation the player's body is facing, we want it to be the rotation the player is actually looking. So to do that, instead of doing fc.getTransform.rotation, we'll do fc.getViewRotation like so. And boom, just like that. If I go ahead and go back into UEFN, build verse code, and push verse changes, then we'll see what it looks like in game. So boom, now in game, whenever we toggle the flashlight, you can see it no longer hits the player, and it's a little bit in front of the player's face. And you can see it's also more accurate to where the player is actually looking now. And of course, it is toggleable by pressing the input trigger. All right, so that's all you need to know to be able to make your own flashlight mechanic in UEFN. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're trying to become the #1 map academy on YouTube, and we've got quite a few more subscribers to go. So if you want to help us out, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.